Tinubu has settled the NLC and they are no longer thinking about going on strike. George Agbakahi. The Southeast leader and a member of the Tinubu support organization, George Agbakahi, has alleged that President Bola Tinubu had stepped up to impede the proposed strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress. He said in an interview with Arise TV News that the president had made known his plans to the NLC on how to ameliorate the effect of the subsidy removal. According to him, the sufferings of the subsidy removal are only for the meantime. He said the issue of palliative in respect of the petroleum subsidy removal has been discussed extensively in government circles. And you're pretty well aware that the president has reached out to the NLC and has settled them. They are no longer thinking about going on strike. He has told them that he has a way of ameliorating the sufferings of the masses. The president is compassionate and he has great passion for this country. The suffering that we are talking about is transient. Very interesting. I mean, in terms of settled and, how Tinubu has settled the NLC and they're no longer, thinking of going on strike, what is the settling like? Because if he's reached out to them, how are they settled? Because the Nigerian Labour Congress, they're they're a major stakeholder in society, in the Nigerian, obviously, those that are part of it. I barely see Nigerian professionals going on strike, except it's in the education industry, educational sector. I mean, specifically universities and tertiary education institutions. So my question is, in the long term, because it can't just be that Tinubu will settle them and then in the next 6 months there's another strike, right? So staff of universities, apart from them, I don't think Nigerian professionals go on strike. I believe that if the Nigerian professionals went on strike, I mean, the Nigerian professionals, they really have, I don't think they understand the power that they hold, especially when it comes to foreign companies and foreign investment companies in Nigeria, in Lagos, and the whole of Nigeria regardless. So if we really needed to make change, I think the Nigerian professionals working for these bodies who have links in the government and, whatever trade agreements they have with the government, change can actually be made. So I don't understand how, well, first of all, why the Nigerian Labour Congress wants to go on strike. Strike for what? It hasn't been given. And because we don't know why they're going on strike, we don't know how Tinubu must have reached out to them to settle them. So I'm not sure as to how that makes sense. But let's look at the comment section below. Settlement here does not mean money has changed hands. It means Tinubu has been able to explain to NLC how government intends to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. That's what this individual has said in their comments. But we can also be surprised if the NLC has been bribed. If a whole INEC, we're talking about, institutions that determine the fate of this country's leadership, especially the top seat when it comes to the presidency. If they can be owned by the government, I don't think there's nothing or anything impossible for, Tinubu's administration to achieve, especially when it comes to reaching out, to sub-bodies, in the Nigerian scene. You guys have not seen anything yet. You said the NLC is an Igbo thing because of Labour Party. Good morning, mad people everywhere. Okay. I'm courageous enough that Mr. President will change Nigeria into a better place, but it should be treated hurriedly. Interesting. But that's the thing. I think if the Nigerian professionals really wanted to strike and they're part of the Labour Congress or the trade unions that exist, I think that would make a very big impact. I think protesting, especially when you want specific changes in a prompt manner, I think protesting wouldn't do that, because we've seen how NSAS has gone. We see how these people treat Nigerians. And I also think that with the NSAS and like with a lot of other protests where we come out and then thugs and whoever is sent to disorganize all that, I think that we are seen as performative by the government, and it's very unlikely they never take us seriously. In worst case scenarios, they unleash violence that affect those protesters. I think protesting isn't as effective. I think if we really wanted to protest in a safe and better manner, I think the Nigerian Professionals is the best way. Working for the banks, working for top sectors, working in the government. If they decided to strike, I think that would be of great impact. I really think so. I think it would really be of great impact because the Nigerian Professionals are the ones actually making money for Nigeria in terms of businesses, logistics. Of course, you have the market people, you have different people that work, but the Nigerian Professionals that work corporate jobs in top companies, international companies, if they were to go on strike, oh yes, that would be a problem. Even bus drivers, if the Agboros decide no one is going anywhere, and it would burn people. It's like Nigerians would deprive ourselves of actually functioning. Let's see the worst that would happen. I think that would be a perfect way to trigger the government, in my opinion. Or even, because if let's say bus drivers don't come, then I understand people trying to make money, but if they don't come, and then those that are taxing and the Agboros that come to take money, see no one to get money from in a day, because the transport system in in Lagos, the transport system in Lagos really makes a lot of money, and taxes that are unaccounted for. So imagine that would cause so much disrespect to the powers that be. And to be honest, it would trigger a lot. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.